Man, it just does not look right to have 8 starter workers instead of 12. I'm just so used to seeing players have 12 workers at the beginning of a game. Now, what I've got for you today is a Zerg versus Terran played on the brand new StarCraft 2 PTR. I've been digging deep to try and find you games, and, well, when I say digging deep, I basically have been going around on Discord and I've been begging high-level players to send me their replays. And luckily for us, the Zerg right over here in the bottom right was very happy to send me some games. He's currently ranked top 10 on the PTR, so I'm assuming this is going to be a very competitive game. We have none other than a Railgan. His opponent in the upper left, I don't know who this is, but he's got a very curious username. We have none other than Kijkwijzer, representing Clan Small. You'll have to see it. Now, this, spoiler alert, is a near half-hour-long game of Terran versus Zerg, so I'm hoping that we're going to be getting a nice little update as far as this matchup goes. Look, a lot of people have been talking to me specifically about the Ghost and then also the Overseer for this matchup. So, long story short, Ghosts are no longer as powerful when it comes to snipe, but their base damage has gone through the roof. Apparently, there's a lot of Terrans currently on the PTR that are literally ghost rushing everybody, especially in Terran versus Protoss. It appears to be quite busted, so if I can get my hands on some of those games, I will definitely go ahead and, well, cast those too. If you're interested, make sure you subscribe so you get notified as soon as I do indeed post another video. This is a 17 hatch after a spawning pool first here from Railgan, right from the get-go. This is a little bit funky. Yeah. So, a lot of these threats, right, they're still up in the air. So, whether or not the Ghost is actually overtuned, I can't really tell. But there are some clips going around of, there was this really famous clip, actually, the day after the PTR started, where Terran was doing a proxy Ghost rush, I believe, in Terran versus Protoss. They had 4 Ghosts, and they EMP'd a Prism and then had the Ghost just auto-attack on that Prism once. And the Prism blew up in about a tenth of a second. Like, that Prism just was wiped off the battlefield. So, that alone is already kind of funky. This is also a little bit strange, though. We have Railgan opening up with a very fast Roach Warren here. It's a double Reaper start for, I'm gonna 100% get this wrong throughout the cast. It's a double Reaper start right here for Kijkwijzer, who I will definitely not mispronounce. Okay, that's my challenge for today. Try to not mess up that username. Anyways, the alternative thing that a lot of people are complaining about, so we may very well see Ghosts as well in this game. I mean, it's a long game of TVZ, so yeah, there certainly is a chance that we are going to be seeing some Ghosts the longer that the game goes on. The other thing that people are currently complaining about a lot, and I'm secretly hoping that's what we're going to be seeing as well in this match, is the Overseer. So, the Overseer's Changelings are now what the patch notes calls contagious. So we have some roaches coming up here to try and push away these Reapers. Should be totally fine. It's just a 3 Reaper start here, so obviously those roaches are going to be plenty to push all of this away. Are we actually going to double down on some form of aggression? We don't have any link speed or anything along those lines. No, I don't think so. Yeah, we're just going to push across the map and probably drone behind if I were to make a guess. Although Railgan did hit a little bit of a supply block. And that's another one of those things, man. All of those Overlords, supplied EPO, pylon timings. Yeah, you gotta throw them out of the window too, because none of it really lines up anymore. You're so used to making an Overlord at like 31, 32, maybe 30 supply or so. But in this instance, well, we clearly have to make them at a slightly different point. Anyways, to get back to the Overseers. So Changelings are contagious, meaning that if you have, like, say there's like 10 Changelings right over here within this square and you hit the one in the middle, it will basically spread to all of the units around it and all of the Changelings literally blow up. Now that's the key. I don't think it's intentional for them to blow up. I'm pretty sure what's meant to happen is that the Changelings only kill other Changelings, but that is not how they currently behave on the PTR. I think it's a bug, I can't really tell. But from what I understand, the Changelings deal splash damage to everything surrounding the Changelings. Meaning that if you hypothetically have 20 Overseers and you drop, well, a couple dozen Changelings and you just like right-click them into your opponent's mineral line, if anything kills those Changelings, they will explode to all of the units surrounding the Changelings too. So there's some really busted things going on right now on the PTR. And if anything, right, like, I mean, people have been complaining a lot about a lot of things. I mean, it's the internet after all, so people like to complain. But if anything, there is more interest right now in StarCraft 2 than there has been in quite a while. And I do love to see it. This is going to be a Hellbat-based opener, it seems, right here for Pig Venus. I got it right. Nice. Whereas we already have defensive roaches here for Railgun. I don't really know if I like this Terran build all too much. So this is a 2-base roach speed build. A little bit odd, but again, it may turn out to be the new standard. I don't really see exactly what a Marine Hellbat push is going to do against roaches. If this was up against like a Link speed build, or even like a slow Baneling opener, I think it could work out really nicely for Terran. But in this instance, this should be totally fine. We have a quick +1 armor as well. Actually, it decides to cancel it. I think that's just temporary to try and get some additional roaches out. But these upgrades are a little bit cheaper too now with the brand new patch. Keep in mind though that these patch changes are not yet finalized. We don't really know what the final version is going to look like. There's been zero communication from Blizzard as far as I can tell. So honestly, all of the questions that I've been wondering about, nobody seems to know the answer. Either way, here we go. This is an awful lot of Terran units. Wait a second. Even though in theory, nah, I think Zerg is okay here. Yeah, in theory, this is a nice Terran push. It's just not good against a roach-based build. I think actually if you're a Terran player and you see that Zerg is opening up 2-base roaches, you should immediately deviate from plan, because you're just gonna get busted. Nothing really goes on here on the side of the Zerg when they're opening roaches, and now suddenly, this follow-up counter-attack from Railgun is real dangerous. He did start up a 3rd base. He is going into more drones as well, so this will not be an all-in here, but this is certainly something that can deal some damage. Mr. Pig over here is also setting up a Liberator, but on the wrong side. We should probably be biling it instead, although I guess if you can guarantee the Medevac snipe, that is also pretty nice. There are only 2 Ravagers remaining. It takes 3 to bile down a Liberator, so at this stage... Oh, here's the first Changeling, dude. It's looking mighty contagious to me. Do you want to target it down so the splash damage goes onto the roaches? Man, this is going to really hurt the Terran, and I think at this point, Railgun is kind of regretting not flooding the map with more and more of those roaches. He clearly did not think that this was going to be as successful as this is turning out to be. A lot of damage is done, though. That's 20 SCVs down the drain. And while eventually Terran will clean all of this up, we don't even have a 3rd command center done yet because all of the timings are yet again so different. This was a committed 2-base opener here for Pig Venus. And at this point, we're going to see near full 3-base saturation for the Zerg, or at least soon to be full 3-base saturation for the Zerg, against like 1.5 here for the Terran. Siege tank production is started up. We have ourselves a engineering bay now finally added into the mix too. I'm guessing this is still going to be a bio-based follow-up, and yeah, judging here by the NG base, and then also the Stimpack research. Indeed, this is going to be some good old bio follow-ups. Keep in mind, by the way, that these are just ladder games. So that means, of course, that the players are, well, very likely experimenting as well. This isn't for a tournament or anything like that. Usually I cast tournament games, but the ladder is, first and foremost, for a lot of people, just a way to practice getting better at the game. And really, the way you get better at the game is by playing a lot and experimenting a lot. So, this is maybe not necessarily representative of both of these players' very best strategies right now. Always a little bit hard to say. There's the Ghost Academy. So wait, this is still a 2-base Ghost Academy right now. How weird. Already, though, a Hive is coming up. Even though, obviously, this game feels much slower. We have, well, about an 8.5 minutes, maybe even a little bit sooner than that, as the start timing on the Hive is maybe slowed down a little bit, but I don't think anybody's going to argue that this is particularly slow. I'm assuming we're going to be going, as we see the Banshee now sniping Brenda. Good night, Brenda. I'm assuming we're going to be going into Lurkers, but already the Ghosts are coming up. Okay, so real quick rundown on the Ghost. So, first and foremost, their straight up damage output, their auto attacks, are just way more powerful, okay? That's the main thing. Secondly, they are more expensive in supply, so they've gone back up to 3 supply yet again. But to counteract all of it as well, we have a reduction on the strength of Snipe, so their steady targeting ability. The main thing is that it's now 75 energy rather than 50, and since Ghost can have a maximum of 200 energy, it means that at max energy, they can only cast the ability twice rather than 4 times. Oh, you see that? You see that? That was the Changeling getting targeted down. You see how little damage those... Well, I mean, I say how little. It's still 10 damage right here onto these Marines. There's no way that's intentional. I can't believe that that is intentional. It just casually says that... Because keep in mind, right? Like, it says they're contagious, but keep in mind that Overseers don't cost any supply. Changelings are, well, a free unit. Like, as a matter of fact, Overseers grant supply. You can make infinite amounts of Overseers in a game of StarCraft in theory. I mean, I guess the bottleneck is mostly the amount of minerals and gas that there are out on the map. We have Overlord speed coming right now. Lurker Den added into the mix. So we have a Hive, but we're not really using it for anything just yet. As Railgan decides to push through here, he wants to try and see if he can get some real damage done. Here's the Snipies, though, going in. Still a useful thing to do here against those Ravagers. That fact that the Ghosts are 3 supply now does really mean that your ultimate late-game army for Terran is just way smaller. We're going to be pumping out as many of those as possible. All right, 13 drones added into the mix. Lurker Den is indeed coming up. Now we're going up to 4 base. Full saturation here for the Zerg. We actually do need a 5th hatchery as well. Maybe even a 6th. Yep. Thank you for making me look smart, Rogan. I do appreciate that. 14 Overseers. Let's go. Oh, I am afraid that the Overseer is just fully busted. And I think it's just bugged. Like, I just don't believe that this is going to be intentional. But at least while it's here... And actually, maybe, I mean, I'm casting this on the day that I'm also publishing the video. Maybe by the time that this cast is live on YouTube, they may have already fixed this, because I just don't believe this is intentional. But I think what we're just about to witness is Railgan carpet bombing a mineral line with Changelings. Maybe we should save up a little bit more energy, though. No, maybe not. Let's see. He's probably been testing it. Here we go. Look at this. How weird is this? Drop him. Drop him. The SCVs get pulled. Oh, careful. So keep in mind, you cannot actually attack them yourself here as the Zerg. That's the weird thing about this. Oh, the SCVs attacked. Wait, so did any of them actually die? Wait. Hold up. Yeah, no, 6 of them died. Dude, this is crazy. So again, right? In order to kill a Changeling, you need to have a unit that can deal damage. Changelings cannot kill themselves because they can't deal damage. So we have the Siege Tank over there targeting that thing down. And then the SCVs decide to take matters into their own hands. Yeah, there's no way this is intentional. Like, we've spent so many years working on free unit design, right? Remember the reason why the infested Terran got removed off of the infestor? Oh, we can do it again. Oh, the siege tank there dealt friendly fire to get rid of the Changelings, which then killed even more SCVs. Yeah, we got rid of the infested Terran because it was busted. And in hindsight, I really do believe that it was. But you can make... Like, you can keep adding more supply to your late-game army without it costing any supply. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, Railgun is maxed out, but he can keep adding more and more Overseers. Yeah, there's no way this is intentional. But then again, it's been on the PTR ever since the very beginning. Lurkers do right now, try to get in a decent spot. Ghosts are going to be able to destroy all of these units pretty well if they get within range, but, well, there's 9 of them out right now. There's the additional one showing up. Marines and Marauders are also going to be here. Here go the Overseers. Do you EMP the Overseers? We sniped the Overseers. Dude, he just prioritized sniping the Overseers over sniping the Lurkers. Okay. +3 armor here for Railgan. Big Venus, in the meantime, is securing another base on the left side. So despite all of the worker losses, he's actually okay. He's been rebuilding them pretty quickly. By the way, the music in the background... Apparently, this is indeed from... I think this is from the Nova Covert Ops campaign. So, in the past, I've mentioned this as well in yesterday's video, but in the past, we had a very limited amount of soundtracks for multiplayer, and with this new patch, effectively what it comes down to is that all the tracks are now seemingly enabled for multiplayer too, which is incredible. We have so many great tunes from the different campaigns that just simply never quite got added. Yeah, dude, it's also so unclear as to... Ooh, those balls are big. It's also so unclear where the units are actually dealing damage. Like, it makes sense that they're dealing damage to one another, but not so much to the rest of the army. One hatchery over here in the bottom left does get sniped by Pig Venus. Hatchery in the upper right is safe for now, but... well, we did see a single worker apparently getting killed. Alright, fair enough. Tactical nukes! Sure. We've got ourselves a fusion core as well, added into the mix. Queen in the main base ends up going down. Ghost production is gonna be doubling down as well. Okay. Dude, I'm so glad we have... ooh, Viper gets killed. That's a big misplay there from Railgan. I'm so glad that we get both Ghosts as well as Overseers in this game. So nice. Here we go again. Here we go again. Oh, man. Yeah, I think you just keep making Overseers. Look at the SCPs. There's no way. EMP'd him. Oh, no, this guy is going in for a nuke. You can tell because he put his gun away. Siege tanks. Okay, indeed, do decide to turn their guns around. A little hit squad over here trying its best. Looks like the Ghost has been halted for the time being. New command center flies on over. There's the tactical nuke. Going onto the Zerg army? Yeah, I don't know about that, man. A little ambitious, I will say. Matter of fact, drop in the upper right continues for a little while longer, but that is also not going to be able to achieve all too much there. Okay. What's really funky, too, about the Overseers is that the Changelings, once they have transformed, turn the same color on the minimap as the Terran army in this instance, right? So I can't quite follow along with all of it. Look at these Changelings on the minimap. Like, they're just invisible to me. So he now wants to run a Zergling in to, I guess, attack on his own Changeling? That's so silly. Yeah, your Zerg units will not actually automatically attack it. 5 additional Vipers added into the mix. Caduceus reactor coming up. Look at the Ghost numbers, though. And you know what? Maybe the Overseers are busted, but the Ghost numbers are now getting up there. And the Ghost DPS should not be underestimated. They are now a core unit for actual damage output. Ultra is coming up. Okay, interesting. Yeah, weird game, because what we have not had here for Railgun at all is a Baneling nest. So, I guess we've had splash damage coming out of the Overseers, but not so much out of the actual, well, Baneling army that we normally have. Okay, we're going into building armor. High-sec auto-tracking on the back of this as well. Terran has that base in the far bottom left that's been unscouted for now. And that is a really nice addition. +3 melee starts up here for the Zerg. A bunch of Ravagers and Hydras do die. Yeah, it's a bit of a random unit composition, right? Not quite ideal here for either two players. Some Infestors added into the mix. Okay, so the Infestors, most notably... we do definitely need chitinous plating. But the Infestors now have access to Microbial Shroud right at the very beginning. So it's no longer a research. Plus, and I feel like that's an even bigger deal, plus the range on Microbial Shroud is significantly longer. I think the range increase is kind of silly. I don't really see what the point of it is. I really don't believe that we need a range improve for Microbial Shroud cast ability, but removing it off of the research is okay, I guess. Snipes are going in yet again. Changelings are hugging all of these Terran units too. Vipers get busted as they do indeed die, but we get some pretty decent... ooh, careful with the lurkers. Ooh, we do get some pretty decent blinding clouds there as well. Okay. More and more Hydras. What a weird unit composition here from the Zerg. Yeah, he doesn't have gas, right? So that's the main thing. He's now spending all of his gas on Overseers and on Hydras and Ultras and all the rest of it. These Ultras have been very mediocre because of the lack of chitinous plating. Range for the Liberators also added in. I did see a couple additional starports going down. Yep, okay, there they are. I wonder if we're gonna just go into Mass Liberator. That's probably the plan. Mass Liberator Ghost, but again, right? With the Ghost being 3 supply each, we now have 16 of them. That is like 48 supply dedicated to Ghosts. And when we have 84 supply going to SCVs, it just doesn't leave a whole lot of room on the table for just more units. Ooh, a couple of abductions as well. That's another thing. You can now abduct sieged up tanks yet again. I always thought it was a bit of a weird change anyways. It just doesn't make any sense. They're like, hey, attack me. Please kill me. Please hit me. Yeah, hit me, please. Hit me, baby. So what actually happens if they... Ooh, nice EMP. What actually happens if they time out? Will they die out contagiously? These guys are just about to bleed out. No, they don't seem to die out contagiously. That's interesting. Some pretty good engagements here, though, for the Terran across the board, I think. This has been a pretty rough game for Terran across the board, but... So wait, if you just let them be... Huh. Maybe it is intentional. If you just let them be, it doesn't matter. They don't deal damage anymore at that point. But that's also weird, because now you're granting free vision. One Ultralisk trying its absolute best. More and more Marauders and Marines are popping out, though, with more and more Ghosts as well. Look at these SCVs, man. Yeah, the best thing they can do is just pretend that they are not standing on top of a ticking time bomb. Just pretend that it's not there, okay? Sure, the bomb may be planted, but, you know, as long as the Counter-Strike round doesn't end, it's fine. 6 Liberators coming up all at the same time, so indeed those starports did get some additional reactors. If we look at the resources lost, Zerg is actually losing pretty hard in that department. Pig Venus has really been trying its best. I just called him it. You know, normally I can't really assume gender very easily, right? I just kind of default to calling everybody him. But I guess with a username, Pig... anyways. Zerglings slip through the cracks over here. Oh, man, we should be attacking our own... Yes! That was the Zerg triggering it. Tactical nuke in the meantime. Yet again, it's going to go into a mineral line, though, this time around. The Ghost is inside of the main base. Okay, this one snuck around the long way. Fair enough. Liberators also, in the meantime, distracting. And this is a nice hit here for Pig Venus. Spore Crawler moving on over in this direction. Ghost is gonna just hit whatever it can. 17 confirmed kills, though. Pig Venus is actually getting a pretty nice army going. Liberators are not going to really achieve too much. Man, we need a Microbial Shroud. I'm not even joking. What we needed there is a Microbial Shroud, and maybe that's where the Microbial Shroud is actually most useful. When the Zerglings and Ultras run ahead of the main army, Microbial Shroud would actually be incredible. So real quick, in case you're not sure what the ability does, it reduces damage from air and range sources by 50%. It's kind of like a budget version of StarCraft 1's Dark Swarm. It's a really powerful ability. It's just been really difficult for Zergs to mix it in. Absolute top priority, though, for Pig Venus to try and EMP the Infestors. Another tactical nuke coming up. A couple more snipies here also added into the mix. Now Zerg is taking the entire map. Medevac drop is snuck into the main base. Zerg army goes around the side here. Lurker's still on the low ground, though. Microbial Shroud? Do we throw it down? Yeah, we do throw it down. Okay. Fungal growth as well. That is a planetary down the drain. And this Terran army... This Terran army is actually dying to the very big buff to Microbial Shroud. How weird. What a weird timeline we live in right now. The medevac drop is still ongoing, or at least one of the units from the medevac drop is still trying its absolute best. Pig Venus going after the most phallic-shaped structure that he can. No surprise there, I suppose. Speaking of Pig Venus, it's right there in the Zerg's natural, man. Liberators, though, did get destroyed on the low ground, I believe. Or, sorry, Lurkers got destroyed on the low ground. Yeah, only 4 of them remain. Liberator in the upper right, trying to get some work done as well. I mean, it's been a lot of worker losses for both players. This is actually an incredible game. With the amount of SCV production here that Terran can go for, it's not the end of the world. Here go the Overseers once more. I think one thing, though, that Railgan is suffering from in this game is that he's trying out all of the new things in one match, right? And that's really good for us. Makes the game very entertaining. But I think we probably need to condense our strategy down a little bit. It's very tempting to just make a little bit of everything. But usually, I think if we would have doubled down on like Ultra Ling Bane with some Infestors for support, and then skipped out on the Lurkers and added the additional resources onto like Mass Overseer instead. I wonder what that would have looked like. Or maybe skipped out on the Ultralisk and went down the Hydra Ling Bane route with, for example, Lurkers for support and then Mass Overseer, right? Like something along those lines. We are doing like 4 different playstyles all at the same time in one game. And it's forcing this more diluted approach here for the Zerg. This is nice though here for Railgan. Yep, he's going to be able to dash in as well with the Hydras. Zerglings and Hydras here working together very nicely. That's all of the siege tanks down the drain. This is going to be expensive for Pig Venus, but Pig Venus does currently have the superior supply count. Snipe also can no longer be cancelled, by the way. If units run away, it's fine. But the snipe ability no longer gets interrupted by the ghost taking damage. So you're much more likely to actually get the ability off in a fight. That's a necessity, though, if you increase the amount of energy that it takes. Man, we're actually lacking medevacs here. We only have a single one. Yeah, we should really be using those 6 medevacs for a little bit here. Maybe drop some more mules down. Yeah, we really don't need additional gas, though, for now. Okay. Infestor? Infestor snipe would be big. Okay, instead the Infestor gets the fungal growth off. Zergling run by towards the bottom left. No planetary here. But the ghosts are going to be fine, right? Yep, cloak gets activated. That's good. That'll be the end of this Zergling run by. In the meantime, though, the Ultras are, together with the Hydras now, breaking open the natural. Overseers are going through the missile turret field as they want to drop off Changelings. They do drop off Changelings. That's a few SCVs dying, but really not that many. You know what? I am pleasantly surprised by how balanced this actually all is. Like, I'm sure there's some really busted things going on, but this isn't the end of the world. The way that people are talking about it made it sound like the matchup is just unplayable here for, I mean, for the Zerg if Terran opens up with Ghost, and simultaneously for the Terran if the Zerg opens up with Overseers. But apparently when you have players going for the both of them in one game, it's actually fine. Another tactical nuke is going to be flying across. I think it's a bit too early to really judge it, man. This is so sick, though. Such a good time to be a StarCraft fan. I mean, if you enjoy strategic variety, we're going to be seeing more of that than we have in a long time. Okay. Sadly, no Marines in the mix with this particular hit squad. Yeah, Marauders alone are just not great at sniping workers. Look at the Ghost. Oh, man, this is a juicy little clump to be hitting with a clump of Changelings. Changelings going in once more. But these are probably going to get blasted. Yep. So that really is beneficial. Now Zerg, though, is thinking about overwhelming this. Fungal growth over here could be big. It is indeed very big. But look at the supply count right now. Ghosts are running on over. That... Ooh, Ultralisk just disappeared. Oh, Microbial Shroud to reduce the damage from the incoming auto attacks of the Ghosts. It does not change the amount of damage that the snipe ability does, because spells in StarCraft 2, well, they cancel each other out like that. They don't care about any of that sort of thing. In the meantime, though, the Fungals here are really nice. No planetary available. Railgun has way less supply, but he's starting to break through now. Terran is spending a lot of their money now on getting like a late game mech transition somewhat ongoing, and ultimately, wow, he does obtain the victory. Incredible game of StarCraft 2 on the PTR. I am very curious in hearing your thoughts. What do you think, first off, of the Changelings dealing splash damage to units surrounding them? Do you think, first off, it's intentional, and do you think it should stay if it is? Secondly, what do you think of the Ghost? Is it too powerful here? It does seem significantly more powerful, actually, weirdly enough, than the budget Banelings that the Overseers are providing. I would not have expected that. Anyways, congratulations here to Pig Penis. I actually made it all the way until the very end without calling him Big Penis, so that's nice to me as well. But congratulations to him for winning the game. GG.